Hello everyone, welcome back once again to our channel, and today we are diving into another major problem in the diaspora among immigrants. So the question is, should you invest in your home country or should you build wealth in the country where you will currently live in? Stick around because we'll be breaking this into different angles, from finances to emotions to stability and to legacy, okay? And I also get it that there's this zeal, there's this urge for us to want to, invest back home, right? Probably to buy a house, buy land, start a business, right? So the question is, do you think that is an emotional decision or is a smart financial one?
Well, it's supposed to be a smart financial decision, but you need to first of all look at um, your condition. For example, for those of us that are living outside Nigeria, look at your present situations, and then that should tell you where to invest in at the moment. But investing back home is supposed to be is good. It will bring development back home, and it can also go as far as creating employment for people back home. But like I said, you need to first of all look at your present situation, where you are now, and then that will tell you if you are ready to invest back home. Or there's a popular saying that where in any place you find peace should be your home at that time. So if you are still struggling to survive where you are, then there's no point rushing to back home to go and invest.
So I wrote some key points down here, okay, so permit me to look at this, yeah. So it talks about emotional connection. So do you think that if I'm a Nigerian, right, and I want to build legacy back home, is it because of the connections I have in my home country, like family, the culture, the heritage? Having some investment down back home, does it in any way connect me back to the to the culture, to the roots, even if I'm not in that country? So does my investment still connect me to that home country? Don't you get what I'm saying?
Obviously, it does. It does. Knowing that you have investment back home will always give you reasons to always go back home and then always want to visit home, and so that will always bring you close to the culture. So I can agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, because if you want to invest back home, you should consider the pros and the cons. So let's digest the pros. So if you want to invest back home, so what is the pros? That
Like I
what
like
is
I
the advantage
like I
of
said from the
investing back
beginning.
home?
Like I said from the beginning, investing back home is a very good idea. It can create employment.
Yes,
So
that's
and
true.
then it can also, like you said before, that cultural connection as well.
It can also stand as like retirement plan for you, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
obviously when you're in somebody's land, there's not how you want to live here forever. I don't know about you guys, but at some point I want to go back to my home country.
I
So am I
understand.
going back to one to become a counting bridge?
No, I understand what
So
you're saying. I understand what you're
so we need
saying.
to have a plan B, and
Yes, yes, I
yes,
understand what you're
so
saying. But if you look at what I said, started this topic, this discussion with, I said your present situations as at the time of this talking about this investment will determine if you're ready or not. For example, somebody who's here, who just got to the UK, and then you are still struggling to find your feet, and then you are going to invest back home. First of all, now investing back home, if you want to invest on what you are expecting returns from, like for example, you want to invest in a business back home, and then first of all, what you should look at is what is going to be the financial benefit of this business, and then how long is it going to take me to grow this investment, that will now begin to yield the kind of profit I will want, that can support me here. That's the first thing you should look at. So, but if you are living abroad and then you are still struggling to survive abroad, I will advise. So there's no point being in a hurry to go and invest back home. So at the moment where you are living, that's your home for now. I know everybody wants to go back home at some point, but
obviously now.
at the moment you are living in the moment.
That's right.
So at the moment, your stability should be your number one priority. You
Yes.
understand? So going back home to invest, like I said, is not a problem. But and now it also depends on the cycle of people around you. So, for example, you want to invest in a business back home, then what is the guarantee that you have people that will be able to run this business for
Actually,
you.
where the risk management. What's the risk management?
So
right?
do you have people that you can trust to
Exactly.
run this business like you would do if you are there? So
There's a lot of
there are a lot of
scenarios.
things. There are a lot of things that you need to put into consideration.
Yeah.
For me, it is not compulsory. Everybody must invest back home. That's one thing. I have seen cases where people, they work all their life, they work day and night, saving the money to invest back home, and then at the end, investing it back home. After a long while, they say, okay, let me go back home and see what my investment has yielded, and then they go back home and then they see empty ground. So
And there are a couple of real life situations whereby people, family, like, now they keep people.
that's what I'm saying.
Family will
So,
like, okay, I have somebody back home I can actually depend on. Okay, help me build me a 2-bedroom flat. End up, and if people see one bedroom, they should be happy. Some people will just see uncompleted building. That one is even happy. Says some people not even see. Land is not going to see itself. Do you get? So, anyways, if you have somebody reliable, although even if somebody reliable when it comes to investments, and you are the crones of investing back home is that you cannot control what's happening there. Okay,
exactly.
so that's the crones. You can't control what's happening there, and of course I am on team invest back home if you have somebody, but you can't, they don't trust him being finished. That's
bombastic side eye.
They don't trust him being finished. So
For me, I think the first thing you should look at is where you are living at the moment. If you are living abroad and then your plans, you don't have any plans to go back home at the moment, I will advise you invest here. Invest here, make sure you are stable, make sure you are very okay. And then know that whatever you are going to invest back home, yeah, it should be if at the end you finally lose it, you're not going to feel too bad. You already have enough investment here. For those of us that have families, that have children, first of all, one thing you should know that none of our children are willing to go back home. So you need to create a good atmosphere for them. First of all, your children should be your number one priority. So if you have children that are not willing to go and settle down back in Africa, make yourself stable here first. That's for me. Stabilize yourself here, and then when everything is okay, the children, they are okay, and then you cannot begin to extend back home, So that doesn't stop you from, if you have anybody that you want to support back home, it doesn't stop you. But saying that you want to go and invest back in Africa and then you are living here, my dear, you are risking your investment.
A business, right? I know someone wants to start a business, right? So the person, okay, has a reliable person. I know when it comes to money, you can't trust people, though. That's the thing. So I don't know. Money, the spirit of money is another topic for another day. Real life situation, somebody send money back home to start a business. All these what's it called? Is it provision business? Because person will be sending things, sourcing cheap things from here and send back home for the person to sell, at least support the family back home there. But today the reverse is the case. Business, see, but we're always pumping money down there, shipping things down there. So what is the business you are starting? Person wanted to start like a supermarket. Do you get? At the end of the day, no supermarket, not even a Korea's a store, nothing. It was disappointing. And in the social media space, I've seen, I don't know whether this was a real shop, but I've seen real life situation where people would like, I send my brother 1,000 million to build a house. I not see anything. I come back 20 years in the abroad, no house. So many real life situations happening when it comes to investment, and people are not still learning lessons in this thing. That's the most annoying thing. Okay, so I don't know what team you are. Okay, you want is to team invest here, but at the end of the day, my mommy always say, even if you go north and go south, you must always come back home, right? So when you come back home, you don't want to sleep in the streets. Obviously, you can go to the hotel and stay, but if you don't have investment back home, you want to go back to father's house or your mother's house when you get back to like home country. Do you get?
I have also I've also had an opportunity to speak to somebody who was here, and then he pretended as if he had nothing. He went back home just to go and see how the family will react, and then the few investment that he already had back home, only for him to go back home and tell them, oh, there was nothing, I came with nothing. So just to see their reactions. So he watched these things on YouTube and said, okay, let me try it on my people. And then surprisingly, he got home and they told him nothing.
You see?
And they said, oh, I'm sorry, nothing. So now, for example, if he didn't invest here, or if he had nothing here, and then he was working and sending everything back home, so what do you expect? And then maybe, for example, that scenario was a real life scenario. So what do you think would have happened to him?
My dear, you just collapse now.
And then as at that time, he wasn't even ready to relocate back home fully. So he was just let me just go and see. You understand? So and at the end of the day, you will discover that wherever you find peace will be your home. And then especially for those that has family, please, I beg you in the name of God, prioritize your immediate family here. Prioritize your children. You understand? There's one thing I understand about family. It is very good to carry your family on your head, on your shoulder, wherever you want. If you want to back them, look for a rapper to back them. It's fine if you have the capacity. But do not prioritize your extended family over your immediate family. So because at the end of the day, these same people will be the one to ask you, how did you spend your money?
Exactly. 20 years in abroad, what can you provide?
You understand?
What do you have to
so and then if you just, for example,
it's annoying because at the end of the day, you always send money back home. You send money back home. At the end of the day, if you can't provide evidence like this, how many years I spent abroad, this is what I can do. Just say
that's
all those times if you're sending money back to them.
It's a problem. One day I went to African shop to get food stuff. So I was just in the shop, and then a young man rushed in and he asked for the guy selling. He said, give me turkey. The man gave him turkey. He said, give me hot chicken. The man gave him hot chicken. He said, give me pomo. Give me shaki. I was supposed to ask him, say, bro, are you doing a party? He said, my brother, what my eyes saw, I'm just coming from Nigeria. What my eyes saw in Nigeria, I cannot explain. And then the young man began to explain himself. He said, I work and I get paid on Fridays. Every weekend, I get paid on Fridays. And do you know that each time I get paid on Friday, by the time before the money comes, my family, they're already calling me, hunger deal, there's hungry, there's no food. He will send all the money home to them. He was doing that. He said until after 8 years, he said, okay, let me at least visit home. He went home. He said the funny thing was, he doesn't even have a land back home because he was taking care of the family. He said the younger brother, the last born was the one that came to pick him from the airport with his own car. Now, he that has lived abroad for 8 years doesn't have a car. So the guy drove him to his own house.
Your own house. And you didn't even have cement.
The guy had a house and two cars. So the other ones they have houses. They were living well. So he was now asking himself, so does it mean these guys were using me to make money? So he said then, when he got to the UK, he now told himself and said, whatever I work now, I will eat it on myself. So that was why he was asking for, give me turkey, give me this, give me this. So, and
that's the reality.
You understand?
Most people here in this and abroad here, most of when we earn money is home.
It's because of the new information you hear from them.
Exactly.
They'll tell you, I've not eaten since morning. Somebody said something. He said, try it for 6 months. He said, for these same people that are saying, hunger deal. He said, 6 months, don't send them money and see if you hear that anybody has died of hunger. Nobody would die of hunger.
They'll survive now.
They will still survive. You understand? So
the day you not have and give to them, they'll call you name.
You understand? So my advice is, make sure you are very comfortable. Honestly, I know that where we are all living abroad. This is not our home. I understand, but at the end of the day, this is where you are living at the moment. This is where you are surviving. Make sure you are very comfortable. Take care of yourselves. So whatever you have left, you can now begin to extend. So if you want to take care of the home first, and then one day where you are living, they ask you to leave. What will you?
This country, my mommy.
One day,
my mommy always say there's not like Ogasa Abexa.
Yes, sir.
There's no Abexa here. One day, due, and then 1 minute passes and you have not paid your rent.
And then another thing is if you have investment here, there's a level of respect because you are contributing to the economy here. Yeah. So unlike when you are not contributing to the economy here, one day they can wake up one morning and say, bro, we are tired of feeding you, go. And then you go back to the same people that you have been spending money on, and then they will tell you, brother, how come you just came with an empty hand? So when your mates were making money, then what were you doing? They would have forgotten that
Exactly.
they were the
All
ones
these
spending the
friends.
money. So I will advise investment back home is not a crime.
Or they should find a middle ground, yeah. Diversify
Finding a middle ground, don't even
your
make it 50-50. Is 85 20, 15. 85-15. Make sure you are 85% balanced here first.
probably you invest here, then be sending remittance to.
Because first of all, let me even ask you, what kind of business are you going to establish back home that will be feeding you here?
Exactly. Well, okay, because at the end of the day, whatever we are even investing there is for let's say retirement. So when you are exhausted, yeah, you just want to go back home.
Now
And
let me
chill.
ask you a question. So are you at the age of, probably you are here, you got to the UK at the age of 25 years, and your plan is to retire home go back home at the age of 65 years. So between 25 and 65, that's 40 years. So are you gonna establish a business back there that will be running for 40 years till you come back?
Jesus. That's an eye opener, really.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So before you get to 40,
So,
they would have
unless it's real estate, that real estate kind of business, is forever. It doesn't depreciate in value. So if you are going into houses business, at least that one can give you like passive income from here. You can even get more from that and take care of life over here. If you have let's say houses over there, you're renting out, but I go visit people go pay you rent. Save that's the way country. The way country is hard. Save you can't even pay house rent again.
by the time you build a house and then
Unless it's all these expensive locations in Lagos.
nobody is even asking you how much is your rent. Then because every year, trust me, you must go there for maintenance. Then you are spending money from here to maintain the house that nobody's renting. And then there's a level it will get to. Families start calling you, that empty house. Let your brother go and live there now. Let your sister go and live there now. And trust me, the day you will say, okay, my brother, you are homeless or you don't have anything to do, go and live in that house. That day you have lost the house. Because to ask your brother to leave that house next time is going to be very difficult. So, the thing is, investing back home. I'm not against investing back home, but what I am saying is, your present place of living should be your number one priority.
Focus on building your capital.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So have something that is making you comfortable here, before you start to invest back home. Because whether you like it or not, there are other factors that we are not looking into. Now, I've also seen cases where a brother or a young man who is working hard abroad went back home to invest back home, and then because he didn't put the investment in the hands of the family, they got angry and they went diabolical, and then they just made him forget home.
Jesus.
He didn't even remember he had investment. So there are a lot of
And
things.
that's to the advantage.
I'm telling you. So there's a time they will wait for him and they don't hear from him. They will take over the house. And then there are a lot of things that we need to consider, because the world is getting advanced, and at the same time wickedness is eating deep.
What the Bible talks about, people shall become lovers of themselves.
You understand? So the world is turning around, and then we need to be very, very careful. We need to be very, very careful. Invest where you are, where you can, the investment that you can see.
Exactly.
So that I'm the one running this business. Except you want to just quit here and go and stay with your investment back home. You understand? That one is also it's okay, but you must make sure that you have enough to raise.
The one hustling,
you're
the one doing the
yeah.
You're the one going under snow.
You understand?
Under winter.
So
if
you want to go back home and run a business back home from here, you must make sure you are very okay and you have enough capital that will run that business and stabilize the business before you can become that big shot that you want to be with the business.
Thank you very much, Mr. Husband. So in summary, I'll just say you have to be very intentional, okay? And also know your why, know the reason why you want to whether invest here or you want to invest back home as well. And also weigh your risk appetite. If you have mind, you can risk it, but if you don't have mind, then stay here and build your wealth.
Nigerian people,
and also your long-term plan. Whatever is a long-term plan, is it to retirement? Is it for legacy? Okay, some people invest because of legacy issue. Okay, so if you want to build legacy or your long-term plan, whatever is your why, whatever you think you want to do, be intentional and also pray, seek the face of God. But not everything is prayer. Sometimes everything is wisdom. Sometimes.
No,
Yeah.
that was it used to be everything needs to be wisdom, but now you need to pray. Like that point, you also raised now is another very key point. You know, I was listening listening to a story. A pastor somebody was giving a story. He said he was planning to relocate to the United Kingdom with himself, his wife and children, and then God said no, don't go. So he felt bad. He was not happy because he wanted to travel out. And then after a long while, and then God opened his eyes and said, okay, this is why I don't want you to go. And then he discovered that if he had traveled abroad, he would have missed his place in life. He would have missed the plan of God for his life. So at the end of the day, he stayed back, and then he's far bigger than what he would have become if he had traveled abroad. So we need to most times ask God, pray. If I want to do business, if God can lead you to go and invest in Nigeria, wherever I come from. So I'm just saying giving my own opinion. So, but God has the final say. So if you want to, God is leading you. Say, okay, God is leading you to go and invest back home while you are still here. It's fine. Yeah. And if God is leading you, say invest here, don't go back home. It's fine. So I think the bottom line is let's know what God wants for us. Let's know God's purpose for us. That will help us in life.
Okay, so what do you think about this topic? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Should you invest in your home country or in your host country? And if you have invested in both countries, can you share your experience with us in the comment section? Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. God bless you, and until next time, peace is written for you, and stay blessed. Bye.